Hello and welcome to the B2D Marketing Tips. Tips to help you accelerate your business growth by conducting business with doctors. I'm Dr. Vicki Rackner, your host. I leverage my experiences as a former practicing surgeon and clinical faculty at the University of Washington School of Medicine and as an entrepreneur to help you understand how to most effectively engage doctor clients. This week's tip is find your sweet spot. When my son was in Little League, he wanted to buy a very expensive bat, and I asked him why. He said it's because the bat has a great sweet spot. I asked him, what's a sweet spot? He said, well, when that ball kisses the bat sweet spot, you get a home run. What I'd like to talk about today is how you can hit some professional home runs by living in your sweet spot. The formal definition of a sweet spot is a place where a convergence of factors give you the maximum response for a given amount of effort. And that's exactly what you want to do as you acquire more physician clients. You want to get the maximum response for your efforts. So here are 3 factors that can come together and help you hit some professional home runs. Tip number 1, identify your sweet spot client. You cannot be all things to all doctors. The people who are truly successful in this niche have a specific vertical market. Why? It's because doctors are like birds of a feather who flock together. I, for example, was trained as a general surgeon. I hung out with surgeons. I read surgical literature. I went to surgical meetings. As you build a referral-based practice, you want to take advantage of doctors talking to other doctors, and you best do that by identifying your best fit client. Tip number 2, identify your passions and strengths. There are some things that you do very, very well. And the great paradox is that when you're living in your gifts, it's so effortless that it's hard to understand why things are difficult for others. If you want to be proactive about understanding what your gifts are, think about going to people who are important to you and asking, if I were on the cover of a magazine, what would the magazine be and what would the article be about? Or if you could only make one telephone call, under what condition would you call me? Tip number 3, leverage your time. Building trust with doctors takes time. You could certainly do that one doctor at a time, or you could take that same amount of time and effort and invest it in relationships with people who know tens or hundreds or even thousands of doctors. Or you could create educational content in the form of a video or a blog or articles that you can then distribute to hundreds of people at a time. There you have it. Spend more time in your sweet spot. Identify your ideal client. What vertical market are you going to be in? Use your gifts and your passions and leverage your time. Well, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed this tip. If you'd like to get weekly tips delivered to your inbox, go to www.targetingdoctors.com and sign up for these tips. Wishing you much success in the doctor niche.